Welcome to our podcast, Inclusive Voices, where we dwell into real life ethical dilemmas and dilemmas in workplace and try to find solutions for it. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most important topics that affects employees, workplace, and in general, the entire country's environment, diversity and inclusivity. To give their insights and talk more about it, we have a guest today, Mr. Sahil Abdul Jalil, who is a CEO and co-founder of Truckee. It is an app based in Saudi. He's going to tell you more about it. Welcome, Sahil.
Hello, Sadia. Thank you for having me, first of all. To introduce myself, I'm Sahil Abdul Jalil, founder and CEO of Trucking. We're a tech-based startup focused on solving real-life problems in the trucking industry. We started this company about 2 years ago with my best friend Ibrahim when I moved back after my education back to Saudi. I joined my family office in logistics. My family's been doing logistics for the last over 30 years in Saudi. But they've always done air and sea freight and outsourced road freight. When I dived deep to understand why that was the case, I realized that as compared to air and sea freight, the road freight industry has not been developed as such. The reason mainly for that is the stakeholders, that is the driver partners and the brokers that are the stakeholders of the industry, have much lower literacy rates. So it's more of a hassle for customers to work in this industry. That's where Ibrahim and me, my co-founder, we sat down and we were like, we need to make the best of this opportunity. And our goal became to provide high standards of road transportation solutions for our customers. And on the other side, uplift the social life and make our stakeholders, our driver partners feel more included.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How old were you when you started this, by the way?
I was 23.
23, that's insane. Okay, so you said that you own a company in a meeting. What is your approach about diversity and inclusivity in workplace?
Actually, like I told you, when we started this company itself, one of our two major goals was to feel our driver partners more included and uplift their social life. So that was our first touch point to understanding this topic of diversity and social inclusion. Now in our company, it's also one of the main missions that we had, that the workspace that we build for our employees is safe enough that we encourage diversity and also everyone that is part of this organization feels included.
What are some common misconceptions about diversity and inclusivity?
The first major misconception and guilty as charged as well is that we feel like it's one and the same thing. But to dive deep, diversity is making sure that your company and your organization is represented by people from all walks of life. Whereas inclusion refers to those people that are a part of your organization, the diverse workforce that you have feels included in the mission that you are solving.
Yes. And many business see diversity as like a quota to complete, not as an ethical responsibility. What is your input on that?
It is actually sad that that's the case in many companies. But I mean, it's one step further than how it was before, that at least being a company that represents diversity and social inclusion is a good thing. Now, again, any policies that are implemented in the company for the sake of PR is never really beneficial to a company. And these policies that are encouraged by the government and socially encouraged are there for a reason. So I think it starts with the leadership itself and companies to realize the value of this concept of diversity and social inclusion and how it can actually benefit them, even in numbers, as an advantage to the company.
Yes. And also, when I was doing the research for the podcast, I came across a word called reverse discrimination. Diversity is considered as reverse discrimination. What is the input of that?
It's actually a very wrong way to look at it. Reverse discrimination would be saying that we are given preference to people from all walks of life for a certain job role by lowering the standard of entry. But that's not the case. What looking for diversity basically is that we expand the talent pool that we are looking at. We are taking a conscious effort to make sure that we look for talent from all walks of life and all the diverse ethnicities and cultures that exist. So it is an add-on to the job requirement, not something that we lower the standard of our requirement.
True, true, I agree.
If that was clear enough.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's start with the case study as well. The first case study I was going through when I was researching was hiring bias. Like basically, the case study said that I'm gonna sum it up for you. The case study said that ethnic sounding names don't receive a call back from the interviewer as much as compared to white sounding names. Do you agree?
Actually, yes. I mean, it makes sense, and obviously, as a leader, it is my conscious uh, work to know that such norms exist and to make sure that it doesn't in my organization. Sadly, yes, it does exist, and obviously, it starts with us as leaders of the organization to make sure that such hiring policies are not there. We streamline processes, set standards, make it more of a blind hiring policy for the people sitting on our HR table to make sure there's no even unconscious bias. And obviously, all the efforts that are needed to make sure that this doesn't happen.
Okay, so as a CEO, what will you tell companies to make their hiring process inclusive?
The first thing that we started with is blind screening. That is blacking out the names and the ethnicities or anything that would bring out a bias in the person sitting in my HR table. Second is we have regular cleaning programs and conscious conversations with our HR team to cane them to remove the unconscious bias that they have. They use it as much as possible. I mean, as humans, we tend to have biases, but it's our job to make sure that the person at least hiring from my side has the least and close to zero bias towards hiring. And people are hired on merit and not based on merit effort.
So you're saying that if you like hire a good HR, they should be comparatively less problem compared to before.
Look, HR, limiting it to HR is not the right way. But again, when it comes to hiring, it comes from the HR. So it's our job as the rest of the company to make sure that there is an active conversation in the company culture. It's embedded in the culture that we are encouraging diversity. And so it's easy for the HR as well to align our company culture with his hiring structure.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And also, when I was researching about it, and I also came across this one more tool called pay disparity and promotion gaps.
Pay disparity and promotion gaps, again, I think we keep coming back to the same thing. At least it's a conscious thought in my head that it is embedded in the leadership culture. As long as leaders make sure that in their company there is no such thing as pay disparity, there's transparency in the pay structures, job descriptions are clearly defined, and whether it be based on gender or ethnicity, there is no differentiation. And for a job done right, they are paid the same amount.
Okay, so looking at your company, would you say that your company is not following pay disparity and treating everyone equally?
Yes, it is, and it is an active thought in our company, and it's something that we make sure of, and we are still working towards making it better.
That's really good. And the one more thing I came across was tokenism. Do you have any idea on that?
Tokenism would refer to something that my company would market myself as I have a diverse culture in my company, but not necessarily my employees feel included. So, to abolish tokenism, it would be an in-house effort to make sure that the employees are heard and they feel included in conversations that help make our company a better place.
If I'm not wrong, if I say it in my words, tokenism is basically just for the sake of showing that the company is diverse.
Yes. Actually, tokenism is about hiring diverse, but not having inclusion in the company. Again, this defines to a clear differentiation between the two. So, to make sure that people are included in my diverse workforce would abolish tokenism.
It's very nice. And then what are the steps that business can take to ensure inclusion isn't just optics?
Starts with the hiring, obviously. Continuous efforts there. A lot of focus over there. But again, building the culture in the company where even employees that have an active thought for social inclusion are able to open up. We have regular initiatives, and it is embedded in the subconscious mind of the leaders itself that we want to be a diverse and socially plural company.
And also, like, what is your opinion? Like, do you think like startups are more focused on diversity, inclusion compared to the big name companies?
I mean, for startups, it's easier to navigate when it is already included when they're starting the company. For corporates and then that are running from hundreds of years, it's a harder change because it's a bigger workforce.
And also, do you think like personally, I think that corporates and big companies they do really care about diversity and inclusion as long as the work is getting done. Compared to startups who that actually care about the society environment and then they work towards it.
It's true to a certain extent, but now the world, I mean, people like you who are talking about it, they made it up. What do you say? Even the optics for big corporates look good to take an active initiative in making such policies. So I think when corporates don't bend down, the public is making them do it. So I think we're on a good road right now.
Okay. So how can business track the effectiveness of the diversity initiatives without feeling it's a number game?
Actually, number games is a good term. It has to be a balance of both. Again, I mean, we need a head count as well in simple quantitative terms to know what is the diverse workforce in my company. But again, it has to be conversational where I know that my employees are feeling included. Everyone has a voice and everyone has a purpose in this company. So it has to be a balance of both a number conscious chart, and you need to look at the numbers as well, but also make sure that even on a personal level, people are feeling included.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like the solution is just like bettering the hiring process and like having an open mindset is the solution.
So to encourage diversity, I think the focus would be towards hiring the best talent from all walks. But to focus on inclusion, it is that conscious effort within your company, within the individual teams, the subsets of teams that you have, that their managers and you as leaders are encouraging open conversations and go for ambient tuition.
Yeah. Okay. So finally, for the employees who want to advocate inclusivity without fearing backlash, what is your advice for them?
Huh. I mean, again, in a in a company like mine, I as a leader would want to make sure that my employees feel like they can open up. But again, in general, for employees to feel comfortable talking about social inclusion, they can, you know, put forward these conversations actively with their HR as well as, find allies in their organization itself to openly such conversations. And one thing they can make sure is not to make it look confrontational, but also an open thought and a solution to the same issue that they have in their mind. Maybe discuss that.
Okay. So to wrap up the discussion, do you have anything else to say about this topic and any advice for the employers?
About the topic, I'm very glad that such a topic is being discussed even on university levels where graduates like you that are coming out into the workforce already know about it, which was not a privilege or a discussion for us when we were growing up. So it is nice. The more we talk about it, the more it gets accepted socially. So it's like a change over a period. It cannot be a one-day change.
Yes.
And for employers, the same thing that this is not just a policy that we need to have, but it is a culture that we need to develop in our company.
100%, 100%. Thank you for such eye-opening insights. So if our audience want to find you, where can they find you?
I mean, my company tracking on any social handles can be found. My name is Sahil Abdul that you can find me anywhere.
And also we add the LinkedIn link in the description as well. Thank you so much for joining me, Sahil.
Thank you for having me, Sadia. All the best for everything that you are doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.